Hey everyone, let's meet our local artist. Welcome, Katie.
My name is Katie Dinh. I've lived around the Pomona Valley and LA County my whole life. I went to school in Azusa, studied art and psychology, and then now I work as a teacher and as an artist for the Daw Center of the Arts.
What's your artistry?
So in my artistic practice, I use a lot of watercolors and I do a lot of printmaking. And for those who don't know what printmaking is, it involves using rubber or linoleum and using a sharp tool to carve out a design, kind of like what you see here in front of you. So carving out that design and then using it kind of like a big stamp, and you get the reverse image, and you're able to use that stamp to create a bunch of different editions. So you can experiment with colors and layering, you can experiment with placement, and so I have over here some examples of here's some ink pads that I use, or some of the different rubber that I carve out of. This is linoleum. And I like to create a lot of work that revolves around nature or around different little objects that I just see in my everyday life. For example, I have this little paint cup where I put my brushes, and this is just something I made looking at things that were on my desk, and I was inspired by it. So I was able to carve it out and then create a little stamp out of it.
When did you first experience the arts?
So during elementary school and middle school, I was already really interested in drawing and writing, but in high school was when I started thinking seriously about if I wanted to pursue a career in the arts, because I was involved in a volunteer program in which we were able to visit different artist studios that were local and different kinds of museums, and then we would create lessons and we would bring them back to local elementary schoolers and teach those in front of those classes. So that was super fun for me. I was like, I could just do this forever. So I kept on doing very similar things throughout college, and then was able to find a job where I was still able to kind of bring students into museums and teach them different art lessons.
How have the arts impacted you?
So the arts have impacted me in a way where the arts have always been essential for me. I've always wanted to be just sitting there and making something. I'm always doodling in the margins during my classes, and then just being able to be in places like the Daw where there's just so many different creative people just inspires me to keep on making, and it's a lot of fun, and there's so many different things we get to do.
Why is it important for our youth to have access to the arts?
So I think it's important for youth to have access to the arts because I like to think of creativity as a muscle that you can grow, kind of like when you exercise. So you can exercise your creativity by trying out different kinds of art and experimenting with different materials that you might not have used before. And that's something that you can apply to any subject that you have in school, whether it's math or history or anything like that. And it doesn't matter if you like the kind of art that's oh, I like to draw, or I like music, or I like writing. That's still something you can grow just by trying out different things.
Any advice you would give to a young artist?
A piece of advice that I would give to a young artist is just to try out a lot of different things. Like I said before, you might be really into drawing or painting, but just any new skill that you develop, you can bring into the main thing that you're interested in still. And then just look around for inspiration. I know sometimes we all get artist block, but if you look around, you could go for a walk, try and see something new, or you can just look around your room or your school and just try and mix together things and draw inspiration from things that you might have not have looked at as much before, because there's always something new to try to create.
Thank you for sharing with us today.